C News, gather around and take a deep breath, because the royal universe just delivered us a spectacle so dramatic, so poetic, and so perfectly timed that even Hollywood screenwriters would be kicking themselves for not thinking of it first. What unfolded last night wasn't merely a clash of public appearances. It was a full-blown cultural collision, a royal power struggle wrapped in velvet on one side, and authenticity wrapped in California sunlight on the other. The kind of night where the digital world pauses mid-scroll, leans forward and whispers, "Oh, this is going to be good." While the British establishment was fluffing gowns, polishing shoes, and preparing the Royal Albert Hall for Kate and William's long-awaited return to the Royal Variety performance, Meghan Sussex, relaxed, radiant, and entirely removed from the suffocating choreography of monarchy, pressed upload on a simple behind-the-scenes clip. And that single moment, that one quiet action, turned everything the palace hoped to achieve into dust floating under a spotlight. The date, November 19th, 2025. The setting, London's iconic Royal Albert Hall, lit up so brightly it looked like a Fabergé egg brought to life. Fans lined the streets. Flashbulbs exploded like fireworks. Royal photographers crouched like athletes at the starting line. And then, with carefully measured grace, Kate and William stepped out of their royal vehicle. Kate glided in, wearing an emerald gown so rich and heavy it could have doubled as a historic artifact. It shimmered, it sparkled, and it practically yelled, "Notice me, I am the moment." William stood beside her, dressed in his classic black tie, trying to radiate regal stability. Their smiles were wide, almost too polished, as if each one had been approved by a palace official backstage. This was their grand re-entrance into public life after months of silence, speculation, and public nervousness surrounding the monarchy's future. Every step felt deliberate, every gesture calculated, every laugh a little too loud. They shook hands with performers. They nodded in synchronized delight at the orchestras. Kate tossed in the obligatory "our kids would have loved this," to appear warm, relatable, and maternal. But there was something hollow beneath the surface, something a tad performative, something that whispered, "We really, truly need this moment to land." But fate, dear C News, had other plans. Because while Kate and William were consumed by the glitz of a meticulously staged evening, Meghan Sussex was quietly preparing the digital equivalent of an eclipse. In her serene Montecito oasis, surrounded by trees, sunlight, and a sense of freedom that no royal ballroom could ever recreate, she shared a behind-the-scenes reel from her Harper's Bazaar art issue photo shoot. The moment the video hit social media, the internet erupted like a volcano. The reel wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, it wasn't dripping in jewels, yet it had more power than the entire Royal Variety performance combined. Meghan appeared barefoot, seated gracefully in a designer armchair, wearing minimal makeup and loose hair. But she glowed, not with the forced shine of stage lights, but with something deeper, something internal, something that comes from choosing your own destiny instead of having it forced upon you. The footage gave viewers a raw, intimate peek into Meghan's world as she prepared for her December 2025 and January 2026 Bazaar cover. She laughed, posed effortlessly, and spoke about motherhood, business growth, healing from past wounds, and building a new life with Harry on her own terms. She offered rare glimpses into their marriage, nothing dramatic or scandalous, but tender, thoughtful reflections that felt real, human, honest. And that authenticity, it was nuclear. While Kate's gown was trending for about 19 seconds, Meghan's reel dominated global timelines for hours, then continued to climb. Clips were reposted endlessly, quotes were screen-capped, fan edits were created. Even critics couldn't turn away, because whether they adored her or despised her, Meghan had tapped into the one thing the monarchy has never been able to manufacture: emotional resonance. This wasn't merely content, it was, honestly, a cultural reset. The timing was what transformed the entire evening from coincidental to cosmic comedy. After months of absence, months of palace uncertainty, months of whispers about the future of the monarchy, Kate and William's big comeback happened on the exact night Meghan unveiled her most compelling and visually striking project of the year. See News. Be serious. That timing was not an accident. That was a PR chess move. But here's the twist. It backfired so magnificently, it might as well be taught in future documentaries titled How Not to Compete with Meghan Markle. Kate and William entered the Royal Albert Hall with all the force of British tradition behind them. Centuries of monarchy, jewels worth millions, an entire institution praying this appearance would stabilise their slipping relevance. Meanwhile, Meghan sat barefoot in a quiet room, speaking freely, smiling softly, radiating calm power. And guess who won? The internet, the press, the fans, everyone agreed. Meghan outshone them without even being in the same country, without a gown, without a red carpet, without security details and press briefings and ornate invitations. She simply existed, and that was enough to overshadow an entire royal production. This moment revealed something the world has been sensing for years. The monarchy is losing the battle for cultural influence. No matter how many jewels they polish, no matter how many charity events they attend, no matter how many speeches they rehearse, none of it can compete with genuine humanity. And Meghan, with her warmth, her openness, and her ability to connect through a screen, has that humanity in abundance. Kate and William have titles, they have palaces, they have protocol. But Meghan has something infinitely stronger, a global audience that listens. The conversation online shifted instantly and overwhelmingly in Meghan's favour. Commenters praised her glow, her vulnerability, her growth, her resilience. They compared her natural radiance to Kate's overly polished appearance. They noted the emotional depth in her words versus the stiff predictability of the royal couple's scripted exchanges. People weren't talking about the comedians performing at the variety night. They were talking about Meghan's motherhood reflections, her candid laughter, her graceful poses, the way she looked at peace in her own skin. Kate and William had the spotlight. Meghan became the sun. And when the sun rises, no spotlight matters. This wasn't just another night of royal versus Sussex media tug-of-war. This was a spiritual and symbolic shift, a reminder that authenticity will always outlive tradition. A reminder that you cannot choreograph humanity. A reminder that no amount of velvet or emerald can compete with one woman living her truth without apology. Kate and William's performance was grand but hollow, elegant but empty. Meghan's moment was quiet but seismic, soft but unforgettable. Last night will be remembered not for Kate's dress or William's speeches, but for the way Meghan, from thousands of miles away, effortlessly dismantled the illusion of royal superiority without raising her voice or leaving her home. The palace can spend millions on PR campaigns. Meghan only needs a camera and her truth. See News. The verdict is clear. The royals performed. Meghan prevailed. And once again, without even trying, she proved why the world is still captivated by her light, one that no crown can dim.